Hello, one and all, and welcome to another episode of Baggers Chat. My name is Mitch Pattinson, and as always, we are joined by Ethan Daffy, and today we are previewing our round 15 clash, Carlton v North Melbourne at the MCG, Saturday 21st of June, 1:20 p.m. It's got a bit of a GWS feeling. It is a little bit of an earlier start. We haven't had many early starts like 11:20 or 12:30 against the Giants, but it's good to get it out of the way because hopefully we can get the win and we can enjoy our Saturday night. But it would be even worse if we lose and we don't get to enjoy our Saturday night and we have the whole week and we have the whole of Sunday to look back on a shit performance. But hopefully it's the opposite, Daffy Boy. But I'll throw straight to you, mate. How are you and your initial thoughts ahead of this? I'll say a danger game again. I know I said it against the Eagles, but pretty much another danger game again, coming off 2 wins. What are your thoughts to start off with?
Yeah, I think, my thinking is when you play a team lower than it, it's always a danger game. I'm not discounting their pretty good performance on the weekend, which probably should have been a win in my opinion. I think against the Dockers, they just lacked that goal scoring pressure that cost them in the end. I think they tied the game or hit the front in the last quarter. So, that was a winnable game for them over there, their home game in Perth. So, yeah, I just can't get a read on North Melbourne at the moment. People are going, oh, they're going to be good the next 2 years, but then they've only had 2 wins. They will be good, I think, at some stage. The wall will break. I think it was the same with us. Like the wall just busts and you turn into a half decent team. I think 2022 for us was that moment where it was like, okay, it's probably time things start clicking.
Yeah.
And that I thought they were really good in the weekend. Still lost the game, so people were discrediting our win, and we won the game, and they lost the game.
Yeah.
But I know it's 2 different scenarios. We are much ahead of their progression, and we should be looking at this game as a win. But we haven't been very, very, I don't know, just haven't put the foot down against teams. We have against them earlier in the year, and at the G, first time since 2004, I was just reading. So I'd imagine that would have been a loss. Came bottom that season. So, 2004, I'm liking the fixture at MCG. That gives me a little bit more confidence heading into this game. Not saying we are any fucking good, but I just think we win more games than not at the G. And they have a bit of... I know they won a game earlier against Richmond, but that's Richmond. And they just have that lack of MCG experience. So, just praying, Patto, that I'm sitting there. I'm going to be working the game. I'll be sitting in the media centre, level 2. Hopefully, I'm not hitting any tables and all the journos are looking at me again, like the Giants game, which is just a complete embarrassment to my profession. But, hopefully I'm sitting there and then, just chilling out and we win by 4 or 5 goals comfortably.
I could just imagine looking over, like, I'm in the other
bad.
box, and I just look over and see.
It was legit. It wasn't a full swing, but I think it was in the Giants game. We gave up the easy goal at 3/4 time when Riccardi kicked a goal. So we kicked a goal, and then it was 15 seconds. So I've got a TV right in front of me, which makes it even more annoying. So I'm looking at it going, okay. So the mids just have to jump on the ball. I don't care if they give away a free kick, and then it goes down the other end, and they kick a goal on the siren, the Giants. And I've just gone like a little whack on the table, thinking it wasn't going to be too loud, and it was a bit louder than I anticipated. But everyone was having a good laugh, so it was good.
You just wanted to light tap in the bloody whole stadium.
Whole stadium turns around.
But I'm looking at the North Melbourne games that they've actually played this year, and they've only played the Tigers at the MCG. So it is a ground that they obviously don't play at a lot, and probably lucky that they actually played Richmond at the MCG, because that probably wouldn't be a game that they usually would play against the Tigers at the G. But it obviously was the Richmond home ground, so that's obviously why they played at the G. But before we throw to our next segment, which is the injury list and injury update, right now, are you actually like? Do you view this as a danger game, or are you actually quite comfortable? Because I know before we press record on the episode, we spoke about it
Yeah,
briefly,
yeah.
and I'm nervous. I don't have any. It's not trust, but it's more like
Mm.
the expectations have lowered a lot,
Yeah.
which probably means that I probably shouldn't be as nervous.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
also, I just have lost
yeah.
like a bit. I probably would say
I get
I,
you.
I
Yeah.
have lost trust, but how are you feeling ahead of this game?
Yeah, I've got to the stage. I've got to the stage which is this club has broken me this year. I said it to you yesterday. It's got to the stage where I am not even building up games anymore. I'm just right. It's almost like, of course, I'll be on every game. I'll be talking about it on this podcast. I'll be up and about, when the siren goes. But even then, like, I'm just, I'm not building them up. So I'm not so nervous.
Yeah,
I'm not so nervous heading into games because I'm trying to protect myself a little bit. I'm trying to protect myself a little bit. But in a sense, yeah, I just, people are, I've listened to all sorts of things over the week, which I like to consume. I like Carlton content and, because we're nuffies and, I'm saying I'm trying to protect myself, but I'm still consuming Carlton. I'm still talking to my family about Carlton 24/7. But, I've heard this rhetoric and this story around this game and people are going, oh, we're stuffed. We're stuffed. And I'm thinking,
yeah,
what has made you say that? I 100% agree about these quarters and all that, but they are no good. We are no good, right, at the moment, but they are worse. So
mm,
why does that make us have to lose this game? Well, why does this make us lose this game? I don't really understand. And then I heard someone say, oh, they're going harder than us. They're going, they're more, they want to win more than us, which I just,
how?
what are you talking about? Like, what are we, 6 and 7? It is less than ideal, and we know that, and I know that 100%. I'm not saying we are good; we are far from good.
Yeah,
But what are they? Two and what? Two, 3 and something? Three
they won
and nine?
three.
Yeah, three. They've won three, which was I think I can't really give a
Yeah, they
fuck,
won.
but
Yeah,
they've
they're
won 3 games,
three
which
and
the
nine.
most recent was the Tigers at the G.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and yeah, I don't get that whole thing. So that gives me confidence. I'm just confident. I feel like I don't know. I just and we're all hoping for we're not going to get a 4 quarter performance. I don't think, and I'm expecting another one halfer. But I just think it has to come soon. These players, the penny has to drop. Patto, it just has to be there, doesn't it? I don't
mm,
know. I don't know. We'll be sitting in the review going, "Oh, here's another one half performance." But I'm thinking it's fucking. We're so overdue for a performance where we just go since the Geelong game, which is round 7. What is it? Round 14 at the moment. 15.
round 15 this week. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
8 weeks, 9 weeks since that Geelong game, and since then it's been an up and down and down and up and down roller coaster. So I'm hoping we go out there, we have a hot start like we usually do, but this time the coaching staff and the players do not be stubborn on a 40-point lead
mm,
or whatever lead we have, whether it's a 4 goal lead, 5 goal lead.
yeah,
Fuck. That's all I ask. Play that brand. And, I understand you're not going to play that perfect footy for 4 quarters like we did. That is, no team can do it. Like 4 quarters in terms of perfection that we were doing. But I want to see that brand. That's what I'm asking for. That brand. Even if we are winning the quarter by 1 goal, I want to see that brand for 4 quarters. I don't care if we lose a quarter. It's for me, it's the way we play. It's that slowing down. That's a defeatist mentality.
yeah,
Going 40 points up, let's hold on to the lead.
yeah.
Let's hold on to it rather than go 60 points where we could have had West Coast on their knees. They were on their knees at quarter
A
time.
hundred
We
percent they
kicked
were.
3 more goals, I reckon. Genuinely, 3 more goals. That they would have been 60, 70 down in the second quarter. We would have won by 100. I would guarantee it. They would have just heads dropped. What's the point of playing anymore? So that's what pisses me off. You 1, 2 goals away
Yeah,
from really putting them away. And I think, I'm not saying, North's going to be harder, but if we are in that position, Patto, I'm not going to be happy if we're not putting him away like we did in Good Friday.
yeah. I mean, looking at that West Coast game, I think that was probably the worst game this year in terms of putting a team away. We
Yep.
just couldn't do it. and we literally were absolutely dominant. I said to you at quarter time, we were dominant in that first quarter, but even that we could have probably done a little bit more in that first quarter.
It was 11. I think it was 7-4. So
yeah,
11 shots.
11 shots. We probably could have done a little bit more damage. And literally second quarter, third quarter, fourth, we just go into our shells. And I'm like, I'm thinking, surely there is a team out there that you can actually not go into your shells and you know that you can dominate a team. That would be West Coast.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even we couldn't do it then. It's just astounding to me. And I don't understand it. And I kind of think all year it has been a roller coaster except for that Geelong game. That was the only game where it kind of wasn't a roller coaster.
Yeah, it was just like a normal two good team. Like at the time, you know, it was two teams playing well. They were in form. We were in form off the back of a couple of wins.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they might have kicked a couple, but we would get a couple back.
Yeah, exactly right.
That was the one game where it was a bit of more of an arm wrestle, but we were on top of most of that game. So, yeah, I agree. I think apart from that game, which was, you know, more of a steady win, a good win though, a great win. Apart from that, it's just been too up and down in games, in my opinion.
Yeah. Spot on, Dave boy. I'm just having a look at the North Melbourne fixture as well. The last win that they actually had was against West Coast.
Oh, yes.
Bunbury, Daffy boy.
That's well. Let's be real. They should not have won that game.
Oh my God, no.
And just think about that. So thinking about this contest, that's what I think about Bunbury. They should have lost that game, right? And people are talking up about him, right? So they should have lost the game to the bottom team that we should have beat by 100.
Yeah.
Right? Just think about that heading into this game. That's my mentality at the moment. So we're not playing any good. And we beat West Coast by 40. They beat West Coast who should have won by 40.
Yeah.
They kicked the worst 6 goals, 17 or whatever it was. So that's a big thing for listeners at home. Think about that heading into this game. That's why it gives me confidence. Just think about that. And I want your thoughts on that, Patto, because you think about that, gee, it should be a win for us.
I mean,
I know it's a different week. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to have the mindset of like we should be smashing teams every single week. And I know that you don't have it, but it's like I've been in trouble in the past where I've thought that and it's come back to absolutely bite me in the bum. So that's my mindset of it, and I want to try and not have as high expectations and just say, I mean, I expect us to win, but like also North Melbourne are somewhat solid, but deep down I kind of know that they aren't so solid because they just beat they only just beat the Eagles by 10 points. And the Eagles kicked 6 goals, 16.
Yeah, they were in control. Like I couldn't. It was the worst. That was the worst loss. That's the first time I've seen Eagles supporters actually really pissed off about a loss.
That was an unbelievable game, and they kicked like 8 points their first 8 scoring shots were all points.
8 or 0-9.
Terrible, seriously terrible. But they're obviously coming off their trip in WA, so now that they're returning home to the G, and they did quite well against Fremantle. But also that's another game that they should have won.
Yes,
they should have won that, and I don't think Fremantle. Yeah, I don't think Fremantle were on their game either. So it's like. I think that's the worry as well because now they're kind of coming off a loss where they should have won, and they also got absolutely spanked through the year. I don't even know what I was saying there, David Boy. Butt spanked through the year against us when I think it was like 100 points, wasn't it? It was close
82.
To it. Oh, 82. 153 we scored. Fuck.
Yeah. Will White breakout game.
Willie White. He might need to be brought back in this week
maybe
to play against the North Melbourne.
Bit of a dirt situation.
Yeah, but we didn't really see that too great last week. But Dash Boy, let's now move on to the injury list and injury updates. There are a few unfortunate updates this week, and we'll start off first with Matt Cottrell, who is out for the year. That's quite unfortunate. And I was quite optimistic that he might return within the next few weeks, but that's one thing about when you kind of mention something on a public platform that it comes back to bite you in the bum. And that foot injury has really, he's been quite troublesome all year for for Cotters with injuries because I know that he wasn't even available at the start of the year.
Yep.
So I know that it's been quite unfortunate, but hopefully he can kind of just have a bit of a break, I guess, and really make sure to tackle like the preseason hard, and then hopefully have a successful 2026 season. It's quite crazy to say that now. Harry Mackay also out until at least round 19, heading in for knee surgery. And Daf, we touched on it in the review episode. This was the fear that we had with the whole surgery, and we didn't know if Harry Mackay was actually going in for surgery or not. And I think this could almost be not season over for Harry, but it could almost be season over for Carlton. And we probably almost say to Harry, look, probably just have the rest of the year off to get your knee right, because right now it's at a point in time where he had the chance. He got injured a few weeks ago, and we probably could have sent him in for surgery then. Chose not to. Had 2 weeks on the pine for no reason, and now he is going in for surgery, and he could be 4 to 6 weeks away. It's just unbelievable to me, and I don't understand why the surgery couldn't have happened earlier. Because even like you were mentioning in the preview for last week, he was looking like complete shit in the main training group. He didn't even. I don't think he even was there, was he?
No, he's doing less training than Newman. Yeah, that tells you a lot.
Yeah. Also, Hudson O'Keefe out to at least round 18 with the hamstring injury. Yeah. It's not as bad as we first thought, so hopefully he can get himself right. Sam Walsh, as we've mentioned in the review episode, he is out till round 19, hotspot in the foot. But with some more positive news, Kerno and Cowan are both tests this week, but Charlie's a bit of a more of an interesting one, and that's something that we'll touch on a lot more in detail in the ins and outs. But the last kind of positive news that I kind of got from the injury report was Nick Newman is set to be back into the main training sessions within the next month or so, hopefully a VFL game in that time frame, and could be called back for senior selection within the next 6 weeks. So that's great to hear. And I think he probably needs to play a VFL game in that time frame before he gets reconsidered for the senior selection. But Dave, on those updates, please give me your thoughts on probably more importantly about the Harry Mackay, because I know that you were quite strong in the review episode about it, but also some more positive news about Newey. And if you want to touch on Charlie as well quickly about the calf injury, which is a talking point heading into the ins and outs. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, there's the injury report. You know, it was probably negative. Let's be real. Headlining with Cotters, which is such a shame. He's had that issue over the last 2 to 3 years. The foot. That's what he's been out with. So, yeah, when you said 2026, that just smacked me right in the face. Yeah, that just smacked me right in the face. I'm going, oh no! Imagine like doing all that work. Like even you look at Jagger Smith. You do all that work, and he's looking like he's progressing well. But, you know, doing all that work and then just missing the rest of the year, like, fuck, it'd be shit. I know he gets paid. People go, oh, he's still getting paid. But that's not they're professional athletes. They work their ass off to get on the field. Yeah. They've sacrificed their life, and they get paid well, but they sacrifice their life. They're the 1% of people in Australia, in the world, really. Like, there's not many people, you know, we might know a few personally athletes here and there, but we don't, you know, you don't have many people, you know, who are at top of the top AFL fucking players, you know. So it's you know, it's sad for him, and I hope he gets right, because he's had that issue, and I'm a bit worried about it, to be honest. I think he's our best role player in the team. I just think he's just a connector off halfback to the forward line. He plays it to perfection. He's got the pace. He's got the tank. But it does give an opportunity for Binns probably to play out the year, in my opinion.
Yep.
Harry. Yeah. I'm pleased they've made the call and not wait another week. And I was frustrated with that they didn't make the call. I guess the first week where he hurt himself, you probably give him that week to just see if it's actually. I get that. And I was pissed off about it the other day, but looking back on it, probably give him that week, but then they give him 2. It's like, you know, just a bit more urgency, in my opinion, but he'll be back for round 19. I think he seems to bounce back well from surgeries in seasons, so he's a hard worker, so I'd imagine he would be back for that round 19 deadline if he's right to go. So, yeah, O'Keefe. When I saw that, I was worried. I was going, do not say season. I was like, because I know he's had those, 10-week the
Yeah.
big hamstrings. So that's what he would have been. He looked shattered on the bench because he knows that he's worked hard to get to that AFL spot. Now he's out of the side. So I think it's only 2 weeks, is it? 3 weeks.
3 to 4.
Yeah. So not terrible, not great, of course. But then you look at, Charlie. Charlie. Do you play him? Do you risk it? Do you risk the biscuit? Um, I'd say if he's not 100%, he's in my selection. He's in the team, but I think my view on it is if he is not 100% right, I think we can do without him this week. And I know it's hard to say we're not going to have Harry or Charlie, but we've got to find a way to win this game, whether we don't have him or do have him. So, and then Newey, fantastic news. Shout out to him. He's actually been commentating with 3AW last week. He kind of provided a little bit of an update, which I wrote a little article on the other day. But good to see. 3 to 4 weeks. I think he'll be back probably in a month. I think he'll be back when Harry's back. And I'll tell you what. We somehow find a way to win these next few games, Patto. You get Mackay back, you get Newman back, you get Charlie 100% calf. There's this, the sky is the fucking limit. And I know we've had a struggling year and we're expecting not to make finals, but if we win the next couple, if we win this and win Port and have a good crack at Collingwood, seriously, the back end of the year can be ours, and it could be a good with these players back. Newman's huge for us, so it's pleasing to see. But then I've got a question back at you, Patto, in terms of Newman. If we don't, I think we need to win. What do we need to win? 8 out of the last 10.
Yeah, I think that's the
games
stat. Yeah.
to really lock it in, to really lock in finals, probably. I see the Giants don't have Taylor for the next 4 to 5 weeks, so that
Saw that.
that could open.
The toe.
I
Toe?
look at it. Yeah, I look at it now and I go, ooh, does that open up the spot? Do they look vulnerable in defence? Really, that could cost them a couple of games because he's just so good.
Yep.
In question for you, if our season, so two options. So if our season is on the line, we're a chance to make finals, we win the next couple, we might pinch one against Collingwood, and then Newman comes in. Do you take the risk and play him? But then my other option is if we're like pretty much out of the race, do you just put him on ice for the preseason?
Yeah, it's the same conversation as last year with Doc, isn't it?
Yeah.
The exact same conversation. I think Newman is lucky because he has a bit more time to get himself right. Because Doc came in the elimination final, wasn't
it?
Yeah. So first game of the season, other than the first game of the season, at the start of the year against the Lions as well. Crazy how it works. But and that's also the team that he used to play for. So it's just actually crazy how football works, really. But yeah, I personally think, I think if the season's over, you put guys like Mackay, Newman, Walsh, probably not Mackay because I think he's more likely to come back.
Yeah.
But guys who have had issues the past few years with injuries, like the Walshes, I just think, pretty much have to put it, like even Charlie to an extent. Charlie can probably have a few, knowing that the season's over. I think if it's still well and truly open, there's no chance that we're,
of course,
resting these guys. But I personally think if the season's over, I don't think Newman needs to come back.
No.
Because usually a patella is a season-ending injury. So he's done well to get himself right, and he's obviously beaten the time.
Yeah.
But then it's maybe he might not have really anything to play for. Not like he doesn't have anything to play for. He still has a few games to play at the end of the year. But it's more like you can get himself 100% right, knowing that he can even end the season in the VFL. End the season in the VFL, have a bit of match play, and then head into the preseason with a bit of confidence, knowing that you had that match experience at the end of the year.
Yep.
Then tackle 2026. Like, I know it's a shit
Yeah, I know.
time to look now forward for 2026, but
you have to. Yeah.
I think we definitely have to.
It's when you say, I agree. I completely agree with your points. It's when you think about it, it's just
it's so bad.
We rest some players the last 3 weeks because we can't do anything. That just smells of 2021 and all those kind of seasons. So, I agree. I completely agree in that sense. I don't think we need to play a guy like that. But also, if he's willing to play, he's 32
exactly right.
years old, remember? So he might be itching to go. Like, he doesn't have many years left.
Yep.
So, as a 32-year-old, you just want to get as many games in as possible. And I know that's going to be a club decision, but like if he puts his hand up and go, I really want to play these last month and get myself, like you said, no, whether it's through VFL or AFL, so he's not starting from scratch in pre-season. Yeah. That's the thing, like with injuries like that. Like you look at probably Jagger Smith heading into the off-season, he'll probably miss a bit of the pre-season, I'd imagine, fully. I think he'll do most of it, but he won't have any match play. He won't have any, which I'm sure. I'm very excited about him, by the way.
Yeah,
I am very, very, just quietly, very excited. Just the way, it's just his demeanor, his professionalism. He's a Walsh times 2, in my opinion, in terms of his professionalism. Different players, but I think midfield's going to be nice next year. I think it's going to be nice. I think these are the 3 names I think mix up our midfield. I think it's going to be Walsh, Lord, and Jagger Smith. That just gives you a whole different look in the midfield. Not saying that's going to be the starting midfield because we've got to have good midfielders, but those guys coming in, I'm optimistic. I think, people are going, blow the whole fucking thing up, and next year we're just going to be in the middle of the road again. No. I think this team's good enough to challenge next year, if we're being serious. I'm not the way we're playing right now, but we can't go into years anymore like that. Yeah. Geelong don't, and I know we're not Geelong, but they never do. They miss finals and they go, okay, let's make top 4. That's the goal. That should be the goal every year, in my opinion. I think that should be the standard, whether we're going to reach that or not. But I think that has to be the standard. And I listened to Paul on Blue Abroad yesterday, and he made a good point. They said premiership by 27. We're going to be holding him to that. So I'm not expecting a rebuild.
No.
I'm not expecting it. So I'm expecting us to challenge the next 2 years. And that's people go, oh, Daffy, don't be stupid. But come on now. That talent is good enough there. That's why we are all pissed off in the end. So it's exciting, in my opinion. I think it's an exciting opportunity, and the whole Graham Wright stuff, I know people want him to blow the whole thing up and make 1,000 changes. And he will make changes. Don't think about 1,000, but I think he'll make changes where we're not sacrificing a season. I think we'll be up there again next year, and it's frustrating this year, but it's what are we going to do about it? That's my thinking. We've got to do something about it. Whether it's this year, off season, pre-season next year, we've got to do something about it to be better next year and push for the 4, because we can't be sitting in middle of the road any longer, in my opinion.
No. I just don't understand why. And I'm speaking to supporters, and I know that I don't have the right, but we are the channel, like a Carlton content channel, and we do speak about Carlton, obviously. And I feel like we do have to mention about the supporters. And I know that you're not like this, and I know that the large majority of supporters aren't like this. But I'm talking about the supporters that I feel like are very, like, they look to say certain things about the club to get a reaction, to get a negative reaction out of actual supporters of the club.
Like,
and I don't know what.
Stuff,
and it's been a conversation for probably a year or two. And I know that I even said it last year, that I feel like people actually have a negative mindset because they hope for they literally hope for the worst.
Yes.
So when it comes and it's positive,
it's so bad.
But when the positive comes, they don't soak it in.
That's exactly what's happening right now.
Yeah, that's
And
what I'm
and
saying.
I'm fine because of that. I'm not blaming people, but I feel like there's this whole cloud
Yeah, it
above
is.
our heads. The whole since Richmond,
Oh my god.
like it has been, the cloud has been there, and I'm still pissed off about Richmond. It's
Oh, we
irked
all
me
are.
the whole year.
We all are. Yeah.
It still is. It's still in the corner of my head every time Carlton play. How the fuck did we lose to them, right? And we can laugh. We can laugh about it, which we do often.
Yeah.
But it's like you said it spot on. People are almost wishing we lose these games so
Yeah.
Graham Wright blows up the club.
Yeah.
It's that is the weirdest mindset I've
Yeah, I don't get it.
ever. Of course, we both speak about it and we go, "Oh, I'm excited to see what he does," right? But I'm not going out this week going, "Oh, fingers crossed, we lose this week and we just, sack the coach, sack the, assistants." That'll happen in
Yeah.
due time, maybe.
Mm.
Oh, but it's just like you said, and then they're like prepared for the negative, so they hope the negative happens. So, and then when the positive happens, they're kind of in this deep hole, which I think we both find ourselves in.
Yeah.
I think I'm
100%.
in it at the moment.
Yep.
I'm not saying we're the people hoping, but I think we're all kind of dragged into this heap of mess that we're just not soaking in the wins. I'm not enjoying them at the moment, and it's just
Yeah.
the weirdest feeling ever. Like the Essendon one, we know the performances are not up to standard. We understand that. But also, when was there ever a year where we didn't leave a game going after a win going, oh, okay, let's take some positives out of that? I've got people
Exactly right.
bagging 7 gamers like Bins. Like bagging Ollie Hollins, who's had I will say it right here. He will be up there, he won't win the BNF, but he will be up there in the top 6 or 7, in my opinion. I think he's had a great season. People are bagging him. Like, what are we doing here? Like, where have we got to? Like, I remember last year, there'd be years where we might struggle against a lower team, but we'd still enjoy the dub,
Yeah.
the
Oh,
win.
100%.
I know that's the standard, but like I've had Geelong, like I got a good Geelong mate who tunes in. Shout out to Jakey boy, but he just tunes in because he just likes football content just to see our point of view and probably see me get angry. But um, he'll be listening now. But he just doesn't understand our whole like when we win a game. I know it's a
Yeah.
whole different.
It's bullshit.
He probably doesn't understand that like we've had this. Geelong. It's a different mentality. And
100%.
but they scrap a win against the lower team and they're enjoying the win.
Yeah.
I know we've had this 30 years there, but 30 years is gone. These players didn't play 30 years ago. They're adding to the 30 years. Of course, they're adding to the 30 years, but that's gone. That's in the past. What are we going to do about it?
Mm.
What are we going to do about it? It's a drought. So what? Why is that hanging over the heads of our players? That should not hang over there. And of course, they will think about it. But it's just this cloud. It's annoying me. It's not making me enjoy Carlton footy at the moment.
Mm.
Like it's frustrating. Like even after the Essendon game, I know that was we weren't. I'm not going to be running around celebrating that win, but I just didn't have any enjoyment.
No.
I was pleased we won. I was
Mm.
content. I'll say content.
Satisfied. Yeah.
That I was like, okay, thank fuck we didn't lose. And then I wasn't. Yeah, it's just frustrating. Like I even look at my parent, like my mum, who she's up and about Carlton usually, like always. But after the West Coast game of the weekend, and that was a performance which was not good enough, but she just wasn't up and about it. Of course, she's pleased, but she's usually the up and about the barometer in our family, Patto. But she's finding it hard to just get that motivation going. Like she's going to North, going So it's a bit of both in my opinion. I think it's the on-field performance, and then this, like you said perfectly, I don't know what to call it. I don't know what to call it, but I just feel empty heading into these games. I used to look forward to Carlton games, whether we were shit or whether we were good. But at the moment, I'm just prepared. Like it's almost like this. It's like I'm going into battle every week with this team.
And we're
It's it's
supporters.
it's so weird. It's just fucking man. It's I don't know what to say, Pato. It's a first, I think, for us. I think it's a first with this whole supporter thing.
Yeah. And yeah. Yeah. And you know what's worse? This is the preview episode, not the review.
Oh, but seriously, I think it's something we had to touch on.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%. And You said it so well, but I've got a question. Has Kez followed Carlton Football Club back on Instagram?
Yes. She's too much. She's too much of a nuffy to do that. She just had him off for a couple of days just to. I don't know what game it was.
Yeah, it was the Giants game.
Giants. Yeah,
yeah,
she
Giants.
wasn't happy that game.
It was
She wasn't happy.
what do you call it when you I think it's restrict the account. And then I think it like goes off for like three or 4 days.
Like recommended posts. Yeah, no, she I'll just say just quietly, she wasn't too happy after that game.
I could imagine it.
Yeah,
That boy, I don't blame her. But let's now get back on track for the run sheet, and we'll touch on the ins and outs, that boy. And I know that we've touched on a few other things, which I think is 100% being valid, but we'll try and touch on the a small bit of the ins and outs, and probably in a larger extent, if Curnow doesn't play, what that could kind of look like, and if that kind of changes this selection. But I'll throw it straight to you, mate. Your ins and outs and the sub. What's your team kind of looking at like at the moment?
Yeah, I feel like it's not too hard of a selection, but there's moves to be made. Currently, I don't have Charlie out, but I have a feeling he could miss. That's just my thinking. 6-day break, travel, North. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? That's all. I know we're here to win. We have to win every game. Not every game. We can probably afford to lose too, but we can't lose to them. We can't afford to lose to Port, these teams who are below us. So people will be thinking of that thing. And I'm not against that either, if we're forcing him to play. But I don't want to get to this situation like last year where we've got Charlie and Harry out for a month and a half, where we have a chance to actually make the 8. That'll be more annoying. That would be really annoying if we win the next 2 and you go, gee, we're a game off the 8 or we're a percentage off the 8 and we've got no Harry and Charlie out because they're out for 4 weeks. That'd just be, head into Collingwood and you've got, the Governor heading the forward line with Lewis Young against Collingwood. But my ins and outs, pretty simple. O'Keefe out for me. Obviously the injury, hopefully he comes back soon. I'd imagine, does he come through the 2s probably when he comes back in?
Probably has to. Yeah.
The 2s have had a couple good wins, which is good to see. They're playing a bit better footy actually as of late, which is good to see. Getting some wins. We kind of want them getting a little bit deeper into the season, to be honest, because every year I feel like we get to the last 2 weeks or we play finals and blokes are playing scratch matches. So outs O'Keefe, and in for me. We spoke about Lemmy. I posted a big graphic up on social media, which people were getting around and going, oh, get him in. And then I kind of had this, I don't know what brought me to it, but a photo of Mark Pittonet came into my head. Just Pitto. So in for me, Pitto, he starts as the ruck without Harry in the side and O'Keefe. TDK plays in there with Charlie. But if Charlie's not in there, TDK is obviously probably the number 1. And then you got McGovern. But if Charlie is out for me, I'd be bringing in a small, whether it's White or whether it's Durden to play a little bit more small ball in the side. Because I just think we're okay. If we have TDK in there up forward and without a Curnow, but yeah, those are my ins and outs, Patto, with Curnow. And the sub at the moment will be Durden again.
Yeah. Love it, Dave boy. I won't touch on mine too much because it is the exact same. And my sub is obviously Durden as well. But now that we've shared our selection, I think we have to kind of come up with some scenarios, I guess, with if Charlie doesn't play, we have to try and work out a way that's work out a way to get the job done and find a team and a forward line, more importantly, and more importantly, a key forward and a goal kicker that can kind of replace Charlie if he doesn't play. But I know I'm kind of the I have the objective of I think Lemmy is the definite replacement if Curnow comes in. So if Curnow comes out, Lemmy comes in, that's a straight swap, and that means that it would be Pittonet and Lemmy in for O'Keefe and Curnow.
Yep.
But you said a great point off air before we started the episode about whether it is a good idea for Lemmy to come in where he could probably be classified as the number 1 key forward in his debut game. And I
Yeah.
know that McGovern's down there, and I know that TDK will obviously be down there rotating with Pitto.
Yep.
But that definitely is a great example,
Mm.
and I don't want that to happen because I would rather Lemmy come in alongside Kerno or Mackay or both, and
Yep.
him be the third tall, and him take the third best defender. I think that's a great way to debut, especially
Yeah.
as a key forward. So I know something that I will say before I throw straight back to you is I think there could be a scenario where Charlie comes out, Lemmy doesn't come in, but there's another scenario, and I want your thoughts on it, is we could feature a certain midfielder like Ben Camporelli
Yeah.
to
Yep.
come in and Patrick Cripps play more forward
Yeah.
and him
Yeah.
be purely 75% forward,
Mm.
25% mid. And I know that that isn't something that we want to see because we know like we are missing that
Yeah, especially with Walsh.
grunt. And also it's against North Melbourne, and I think their midfield is actually
Yeah.
quite solid. So I think we need to have someone like that in the middle. But Camporelli's been quite good in the twos, and I think Lemmy and Camporelli, Ben Camporelli I'm talking about, is they are the two guys that probably should be the next in line to
Yeah,
debut.
100%. Yep.
But I want your thoughts on that. Like, do you think there could be a scenario that we could see come on like in selection and also come on Saturday, or do you think we kind of go more the safe route where we see Lewis Young play, and if Kerno doesn't come, if Kerno doesn't get up for Saturday, maybe Lewis Young comes in alongside Pitnet, and then it could be TDK, Gov, and Young up forward. Pitto being like hearing that,
Yeah.
I'm not happy with that at all.
No.
I'm really not, and that's why I would rather Cripps be that target. And I think Lewis Young could definitely. I personally think there's a chance that Lewis Young could still come in for O'Keefe and him just plays that second
and
ruck.
not play Pitto. Yep.
Yeah, I think that could definitely be a scenario, but I love the idea of TDK going forward, being that main forward if Kerno isn't there.
Yep.
But more importantly, Cherry there as well.
Yeah.
Pitto can kind of wear down because we saw it against Fremantle. Luke Jackson and Sean Darcy, they double team him to a T, and they really wore him down. And if there wasn't two ruckman playing, I probably reckon North Melbourne could have won the game. I think he was the core reason.
He was buggered by the end of the game.
Yeah, he was the core reason why North Melbourne didn't win, in my opinion. So I want your thoughts on that. So how you like with Kerno coming out? What other scenarios do you have in your head? But also touch on the scenarios that I said and just kind of give me your opinion on it. Because I know that looking at it, of course, I would love to have Cripps in there in the middle, 100%. But heading into this week, maybe that is a scenario that we might have to actually open up and see how Cripps goes playing more time forward.
Yeah, it's I've come up with a solution. And something they're not a massive radical decision, but so I think if Kerno comes out, I've just been thinking about it. I don't think so. So obviously Pitto's in. So Pitto's in already. So Pitto for O'Keefe, Kerno's out. I think do you play? Yeah, like you said, do you play Ben? I think your idea is really good. Do you go with Ben Camporelli? Do you get okay? I'm just locking in now. Ben Camporelli comes in, right? He comes into the side. So you got two changes: Pitto and Camporelli in for O'Keefe and Kerno.
Yeah.
I don't think you need Lewis Young, and I don't think you need Lemmy.
No.
So I think you almost play smaller. You play TDK forward, and then you got Gov, and you got the other small guy, Williams, and like you said, a little bit more time for Cripps. He doesn't have to be there all the time.
Yeah.
But just a little bit more time. Might be more of a, 60-40. Doesn't have to be there for long. Just has to be there, playing out of the goal square or whatever for a 5-minute patch, 10-minute patch. So, no, I really liked your idea of Cripps going forward. So that's kind of sold me. And I feel so bad for Lemmy because his form has actually proven that he should be picked anyway.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But my thinking is like that whole, but then it's North. I'm starting to think. But then it's AFL level. It's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, it is.
And I want to see him work under a Harry Mackay. My clear example, and that's worked well for Brisbane this season, and it's because of last season, was Logan Morris underneath Joe Danaher. Had no one was our danger is Logan Morris, And now look at the fruition now. He's gone, Joe, and Logan Morris has probably taken the,
Yeah.
I don't think, well, they've got a few guys who probably have that number one. He's not number one, like but he's kicking bags of
He's the
goal.
main forward, yeah.
He's the main key.
Yeah.
Yep. He works under a tall guy, gets the confidence, and then
Yeah.
Joe goes, and what happens?
Yep.
Fagan goes, this is your fucking time now.
Yeah, great.
You've had I'd say your apprenticeship. That's what I call it.
Mhm.
That's what I want for Lemmy. So hopefully, if Curnow plays, Lemmy could come in. So it's a matter of, is his form warranted to get a game? I think so. A lot of people think so. I'm sure you think so, but it's more that, do we want to chuck him to the Wolves? Do we really want to do that? I know North aren't fucking Collingwood, but it's still AFL level. So, I'm a lock for having a smaller forward line if Curnow doesn't play.
Yeah, no, I like it. But I also like what you said there about, like, we could actually see, like, the scenario where Curnow still plays, but Lemmy comes in for O'Keefe.
Yep.
And that's when you kind of look at the forward line. Then you've got Curnow, Gov, and Lemmy as the keys.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to think about the second ruck. That's one thing, and I want to throw to you, and I want to hear your opinion about this, and I don't know if I want it. I don't know if I want this to happen. But then we kind of do have a second ruck in Patrick Cripps because he's been playing as that second ruck for the whole year, and I know, but I don't want this to happen at all. This is something that I'm going to say straight away, and I'm not suggesting it because I want it to happen. Yeah. I'm saying it because I reckon it actually could happen. I reckon there could be a scenario where literally the ins will be Lemmy in, Hudson O'Keefe out, Lemmy plays as that main key forward alongside Curnow and Gov, and Vossi will think, oh, that's all right. Well, Cripps can play as the second ruck. I'm seriously worried about that.
Oh, I'd rather Gov in the ruck.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I'd rather Lemmy in the ruck.
Yeah, well, I've just looked at the last two games while you were speaking about that. He has not had a ruck contest.
Who, Cripps?
No, Lemmy. Not one hit out. So he's just been playing as a forward, I'm pretty sure, if I'm looking at it right. Yep. He kicked 4 on the weekend, which is good. That's good. He's just been playing as a forward. So or do you just go, let's just play fucking tall?
Yeah, well.
Do you just go let's just go Pitto, Lewis Young, and Lemmy? Do you just go, let's stretch their tools out? They got core, they got, guys like that who, they're not superstars. So do you just go, do you know what I mean? Do you just go all in? But, anyway, it's a discussion and, watch Lemmy not get a game this week, which I think is probably a higher chance of happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately. But, it's a mind fuck. As much as has been all year, the Carlton performance, and we don't like performances, and we don't know what will kind of happen this year, this week with the selection. But
no idea.
I think the definite, and it should be happening, is Pitto in, Hudson O'Keefe out. That's it.
Yeah.
And if Curnow's out, probably Lemmy. I don't know. I actually don't.
No, my thinking is you just play someone smaller, whether it's Will White or someone, and you just bite the bullet and just play smaller. Well, it's not that small. You got a ruckman playing full forward in De Koning.
And you've got Gov.
And you got Gov. And then you got, so it's not tiny. It's not our ideal forward line, but like TDK has the ability to kick a bag. Oh, seriously, 100%. I think he's one of those blokes. And he hasn't had the opportunity to really swing forward much this year. So, and he kicks his goals. He still kicks his goals. So, it's just my other worry, just quickly, is just the whole Pitto situation. He's been very, very good in the twos, and not just bull ants. He has been good against the other teams. Very good. Very good.
Not just bull ants.
The poor bull ants are coughing fucking strays on this episode, but no, he has been very good. So, if he's the second ruck, well, we have to bite the bullet. But my thinking is he was fucking woeful in that Giants game.
Oh my God. So bad.
He was woeful in that Giants game. And we both messaged each other at quarter time going, how good is this? How good's Pitto? Remember that? We were messaging going, how good is this? How good is this? Oh my God, a message from Patto. I heard a ding on my phone. I was like, oh, sweet. I knew what you were going to talk about too, because I think he just won some contest or whatever. And then I got a phone. He goes, how good is this? And it just went downhill because we got an injury and then we couldn't sub him out because he had to play. And then that's the thing. That's my issue. He's a bit of a liability, but
Yeah.
let's just hope against Sherry he just has some sort of game.
Yeah. You know what? I should just shut the fuck up when I am at games. I should just,
Especially Carlton games after quarter time, whether it's the
Dude,
team performance or individual performance. I'm not saying a word anymore.
I reckon I even said it like last year against the Giants, quarter time, the infamous quarter time Giants game last year. Like, what the fuck is that?
I look back at that. We were 13 to 52 up.
It was unbelievable.
You can't.
How does that happen?
You can't.
How does that happen?
We would have been, if we won that game, we would have been probably 3 games ahead in second.
Fuck.
That just changes the season, in my opinion. But anyway.
Oh, it's so bad hearing that. And now we're literally shitting the bed against fucking North Melbourne, mate, in round 15 when the season's over. Fuck's sakes. Seriously, this bloody club don't boy. But let's now get back on track.
Yeah.
Love to go off track here on Bangers Chat, but we wouldn't want it any other way, Daffy Boy. But let's now touch on another segment in the episode, and it obviously is the opposition watch. For the people who don't know what we do for the opposition watch, we go through backline, midfield, and forward line for the Kangas this week and touch on one player for each line and kind of explain why they could be a bit of a threat come Saturday, 1:20 at the G, Daffy Boy. But as we always do, we'll start off with the backline for the Kangas. I'm just looking at their backline now, Daffy Boy, and dare I say it, I don't want it to come back to bite me in the bum, but for fuck's sake, see if we can't get the job done against these quite, I'm not too sure about these back the defenders, dare I say, David Boy, but don't want to say anything. I was just saying, I won't say anything. I won't say anything again. I just fucking talk shit the first thing about the backline of the Kangaroos. But I'll throw it straight to you, mate. The opposition watch for the Kangaroos defense. Who do you reckon?
Yeah, so obviously Comben is out for sure. I checked their injury list before we filmed today just to make sure. You think he's 2 to 3 weeks away with that shoulder. I look at their defense. I think we had a similar conversation in Good Friday. There's no real standouts, but I think he'll probably take the best forward. Probably Logue, I'd imagine. Logue. Wow. Core hasn't been playing, I just realised.
Yeah, no, hasn't been playing. So Cullen Dawson's that other tall.
Well, we shouldn't be laughing. We haven't been good enough, but I will be laughing. Griffin Logue, he'll probably take the best, whether it's he'd take Curnow. He usually takes Curnow. I remember when he was at Freo, he took Curnow all the time. So, Griffin Logue for me, you look at the rest of their defence, we should. It's just arrogant. We're just arrogant at the
Delusional.
moment. No, they've had some good players. I think Riley Hardiman's actually been a spotlight
he's been
for them.
good.
He's been good. Yeah, left footer. I know I'm supposed to be looking at one player, but O'Sullivan's good. But for me, Logue, I think if we can minimise him, Pink, and their aerial impact, I think that'll go a long way. I think if it hits the deck, I don't know if guys like Daniel, McDonald, Fisher are really up to defending good enough. We said it in Good Friday as well, and it came to fruition. Are they willing to fucking work hard enough to stop us kicking goals? That's why the onus is on the smalls this weekend again. Like Good Friday. And what happened? That we had 4 small forwards kick 3. So maybe you do play Flynn Young.
Fuck.
Maybe you do play. Maybe Durden starts on the ground. Maybe Will White comes in. So that's more selection, but we've obviously touched on that. But there's numerous ways we can get around it. I think we can get around with playing without Curnow.
Yeah,
of course you'd rather him playing.
Yeah.
But if he's not 100% fit, we know how that works.
Yeah,
he doesn't play 100%.
Yeah, I do agree with Logue. Usually would go to Curnow, but I mean, like I said, if Curnow doesn't play, that can open up something massively in the like that could open up a a negative light for like a red light for the Kangaroos in the back line because Now they don't really have a
Yeah.
genuine key forward. Like, we don't really have a genuine key forward down there. We might have
Mhm.
TDK and Gov.
Yeah, yeah,
That means it could expose like a Dawson who usually takes a key back, and that can like he might have to
yeah.
go to a Zach Williams. And I'm sorry, Zach Williams is quicker than Dawson. So
Mm.
that actually might be something that
Yeah.
we might
So it's
see.
probably the week you can take. I'm not saying this is not arrogant, but it's probably the week you probably go, okay, Charlie, you can have the week.
Yeah.
Have the week, get ready for the 5 day break, especially. You don't
Yeah,
want him playing
yeah.
this and then 5 day break. That's my thinking kind
Against
of now.
Port as well. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think my opposition watch, I think I'll go with I don't want to go with him, but he has been playing more in the back line the past few weeks. And I'll go with Harry Sheasel.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I know that it is a bit of a cheat code, but he has been playing
Yeah.
mid, but he hasn't been doing that stupid half forward role. I don't know why they did it. So right now he's pretty much playing 80%
Yeah, he's much
back
better
line
there.
and 20% midfield. So I think now he kind of is classified as a defender again. So I think Harry Sheasel has to be a player that we need to look at. And that's what I'll throw to you straight away.
Yep.
Do you think Chin Cotter has a matchup this week? And I think personally, if there is a matchup, I don't think there is. I don't think he needs to have a matchup this week.
No.
But if there is a matchup, do you reckon Harry Sheasel is probably the one player that you probably would have a tagging role?
Yeah, I think so. If we're looking at half backs, but yeah, I think if Chincotta's going to take anyone else, it's probably any of their mids if they're getting off the leash, maybe LDU or
Yeah.
he's been struggling, I think.
Yeah,
but
he has, yeah.
they're always due for good games, those types of players. So yeah, I think you're right. I think he'd go to Sheasel, but I really want to see Chincotta have a game where, like he did play on the weekend really well. So I think like everyone just thinks he's just like he just let's
He's
just give him
not.
the shit role.
He's not.
He's not. He has the ability to, in my opinion, I think he has the ability to go through the mid based on what I've seen in the twos. I think he actually is a midfielder
Yeah.
by fitness and by ability.
Yeah. And I think it's great because I personally think he could be a lockdown defender.
Yeah.
And also he can make an impact up forward. I personally think he's one of the guys that should be playing most weeks in the seniors.
Yep.
I really do.
And he has been since coming back, really. I know he had a couple of VFL, but he was out for a while.
Yeah. And yeah, like I generally think like it would be the perfect sub as well. Even if we have a full list, he probably could almost be our perfect sub. But let's hope in. Sorry,
that's why I found it amazing that he got dropped for the elimination final last year.
Oh, he did, didn't he? Yeah.
That selection, we had TDK as the sub.
That was so bad.
Like you may as well just play him for a half if he's not 100% right, and then he comes into the game. What happens? I think we kicked 4 in a row and brought it within 4 goals or something. That's another moment of Carlton where it still irks me, that final. We just let them win easy.
Yeah.
Like by our selection. We lost the game by that. But anyway.
So bad that for you, and I don't even want to go back to that stupid elimination final. And Matt Candy getting subbed off. You could not have subbed anyone
players.
Off. Yeah, out of all players, you choose to sub Candy off, and that was probably the shining light where he was like, you know what, fuck you all. I'm going to find a new home, and that was at the Doggies. But Daft Boy, let's now move on to the midfield opposition watch. We have mentioned that there are a few names, obviously, in there with even Tom Powell, who's actually been quite solid through the middle as well. But now that Sheasel is kind of out of that midfield role, it opens up an avenue for, as I said, Tom Powell, but also Jai Simpkin, who's been kind of majority playing more kind of half-forward wing and sometimes through the middle, but now he's probably playing more as that full-time mid. But also George Wardlaw, who has returned to the side, who has had a bit of an interrupted season. But your midfield opposition watch for the Kangas, who have you got?
I'm going to go straight to this guy. He plays a bit of half forward. I love the way he goes about it. I love the way he went about it at his old club. Luke Parker.
Like it.
He kept him in the game the other day. Well, not kept him in the game. He put him in a winning position, I thought.
Yeah.
He put him in a winning position, kicking important goals. He's always kicked important goals. Yeah. He's just been a goal kicker. And I think bringing him to North Melbourne has been massive for them. I wouldn't have been against him actually coming to Carlton, to be honest.
Good point.
But I'd imagine the money he's getting at North would be
a bit.
Yeah, I think he'd be on that 800 plus. And it's probably they probably have it to spend because, like at the moment, you give him a 2-year, 3-year deal and just spend the money now, and then he'll be off. I think he's going to be a coach there, so
yeah,
it works out well for them, and he still has the ability to play through the middle. And He's definitely a guy to watch out for, especially when he rolls forward. He kicked a couple against us in Good Friday, I think. So, yeah, that's one to watch for me. I really have enjoyed watching his career. He's a good player.
Yeah. Oh God, he's an absolute ripper. And as you
Mm,
said, yeah, that's a great opposition watch, and I think that has to be a guy that we have to look out for, Dash Boy. My midfield opposition watch, I will go with Luke Davies-Uniacke.
yep,
He's been pretty shit this
he's
year.
due.
All due respect, unfortunately, he is due, and the one game he's due for is against Carlton. So let's just hope
Yeah,
he isn't due this week and maybe the next few weeks. But I do love him as a player, and I think he definitely, as we've said, is due for a
yeah.
absolute blinder of a game. But as I said, let's hope it doesn't happen this week. But
Mm.
yeah, Luke Davies-Uniacke will be my opposition watch for the midfield. Now, Daft Boy, let's now move on to the forward line opposition watch. Looking at a certain name, Jacob Constanti, our Vegas chat favourite. Yeah, oh yeah, shusha when you're 80 points down, mate. Fuck me.
Uh,
But I'll throw it straight to you, mate. Your mid forward line opposition watch for the Kangas. Who have you got?
yeah, it's they've got a few guys in there that can kick goals. I actually think, and this is not to jinx anything. I obviously think he's a great player, but I actually think Nick Larkey's had a horrific season.
Yeah, he's been shit.
He has been shocking, and
Yeah.
watch him now. But
Oh,
no, that's not people will clip that up. I don't care if you're watching, clip it up. I don't care. But
well, it's
he has
true.
had a bad year, and
It's
I'm not
true.
saying he could have a bad game on the weekend, but he has been shocking.
Yeah.
So he's actually going to be my one to watch
Mm.
because he has just been. His set shot kicking has been terrible.
Terrible.
He just he just hasn't been there. He just looks
Yeah.
slow, and I know it doesn't help when the sometimes the ball's not coming in there enough. But still, they were shocking last year, and he won the Coleman. So yeah, I think Weeders goes to him. Weeders usually goes all right on him too. So he kept him quiet in Good Friday. I think kicked a couple late goals. Did he in that game? Maybe.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah, it was a
To keep him
couple
in it.
cheap goals to keep him in it, keep him within 80 points. So, um, but yeah, no, that's one to watch for me. Weeders straight to him. Best forward, best defender on best forward. That's what
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah. Love it. Did you say that Larky won the Coleman last year?
Did he?
Nah, it was Hogan, wasn't it?
Oh yes, yeah, he was close.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Larky did have a good season though,
yeah,
didn't
he
he?
was second, I think.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Like
he's
that's
been
why
shit then.
he's just been shocking.
That's a really good
Like
point.
to
Yeah.
his standard. That's yeah. He did in that game on the weekend. I know he kicked a couple clutch goals, but
But just shit.
yeah, just like
It's a
he
very
just
good.
doesn't. He's not like it doesn't have that aura. Doesn't have that finishing touch that he's usually
Yeah.
had. But
Yeah. I generally think it's been ever since Jason Dunstall has brought up his
yes,
like pinpoint set shots. He's the best set
yeah,
shot in
it's been
competition.
shocking.
It just and like I think he is by far, but now his technique just looks
Meh.
shit house because whenever he does miss,
He
it just
pokes
looks
at it.
shit. Yeah, it just
Yeah,
looks like he's poking at it, but like that's his strong point. Like
yeah, yeah,
that's why
yeah,
he's so accurate because he does poke at it, and like when it goes well, we say how good it is.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
unbelievable, and
yeah.
it's a
Forms.
very good opposition watch because yeah, I think he has to be a big watch this week, and um I'm glad that you actually mentioned it because that's a big watch. Do you reckon Weeders goes straight to Lucky?
Yeah,
And
I think Waiters was very good on the weekend. So I think
yeah,
he's back to his.
yeah,
He had 21, took 9 marks or whatever.
yeah, good.
And then you look at the other forwards. I think we can cover them. Zerha, probably Haynes.
Mm.
Oh, Silvani maybe.
Yeah, so I reckon Sauce to Darling.
Oh yeah, and then you got Curtis as well. So I think we can cover it. To be honest with you, but yeah, the drop of form from Larky has just been not having a go at him. I think
Nah, of course
I
not.
think North Melbourne fans would agree.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm harshing him because I actually really like him as a player.
Yeah, yeah,
I really like him as a player. So yeah, I mean, I think Weeders took 14 marks on the weekend, and I think
yeah.
it
There
was
you go.
I think it was Haynes who took 10 marks as well. So
Mm,
Haynes just keeps on doing his thing. But I
oh,
personally think it will be Weeders to Larky,
yep.
Sauce to Darling, Haynes to Curtis,
Yeah,
probably.
I
But
like
then
that.
you've got Cam Zerha as well. But I think I actually don't know who probably would go to like maybe Carroll has to play a little bit more
Yeah,
defense.
maybe Carroll plays on a Zerha.
Zerha,
Or,
yeah.
I'm trying to who else who we
Because then
have.
I'm like thinking like we could probably send Gov back, but I want Gov forward.
Yeah, no, have to have Gal forward. I think.
Yeah,
Or do you bring in someone?
yeah. Well,
Do you play a Boyd to play more of a No, to give Carroll more of a
Wing spot.
defensive role or
Yeah.
or something. I don't know, but I
Yeah.
think we can cover it. We covered it in that game with Carroll, so
Yeah.
and I know Gov was back in that game, but I think we'll find a way to do it.
Yeah, I think it has to be something that we have to see this week is our team defense. That has to be something that needs to
Yeah.
be like very much on point this week. So hopefully it
Mm.
is. But my forward line opposition watch, Staffy Boy, I love that you went lucky, but I am looking at a certain player in the forward line and it scares the living daylight out of me. He's probably the one player I would love to have at the club, and it's Paul Curtis.
Yeah.
He just has that CUNT about him. Every single week he plays, and even when he does a very great tackle, like a very good tackle, he somehow gets suspended, and it's because he just has that CUNT about him, and I absolutely love him as a footballer. I'm so glad he's getting a bit more like recognition, I guess, because he's just been great for the Kangaroos. So hopefully he doesn't play overly great this week, but I think he definitely will find a way to have an impact because he's just that good of a player. So yeah, Paul Curtis will be my forward line of opposition watch, Daffy Boy. But let's now move on to the match predictions, Daffy Boy. For the people who don't know what we do for their predictions, we go through bag of the game, which is the best player on the ground from a Carlton point of view, point of difference, and winner plus margin, Daffy Boy. So I'll throw straight to you. Your predictions, what have you got?
Yeah, so it's going to be, it's just one of those games. You just rock up going, ooh, MCG. I feel like every game's become that, but I'm quietly confident. I think we've had the wood over them over the last few years, even when we haven't been playing well. But they'll be thinking, gee, even if we do go 4 goals down, Carlton are still vulnerable because they haven't been able to put a side away the last month and a half, which has obviously been infuriating. But best on ground for me. Best on ground for me. He's going to kick a bag of goals. It's Tom DeConey.
Love it.
Tom DeConey is going to kick 5. He's going to kick 5 and also get 20.
Shit.
That's my thinking. I think I just don't know why. I just feel like he's gonna get there and and rotate into the middle, like kick those 5 goals, rotate into the middle as well. He showed us in those semi-final, I think kicked 3 in that semi-final, playing that more of a forward role with Charlie in the team as well. So if Charlie's not in the team, all the focus is going to be on him. I know defensively as well, but I just think he's too big of a body now. He just finds his footy. Doesn't matter who's on him. But point of difference. I think North, sometimes their forwards struggle to defend.
Love it. I know exactly who you're going to say.
It's going to be, do you know who I'm going to say?
Ollie Hollands?
Yep.
Knew it.
Yeah. I think he has been a bit of a point of difference the last few weeks anyway. But
really good.
I think, are they going to be willing to pick him and Sada both? Are they going to, that also opens it up for Sada as well. So, yeah, Ollie Hollands for me and Carlton going to win the game. I'm confident. I'm not overconfident. I'm not cocky. I'm still a little bit on the eerie side. But
come on,
it's like, okay. It's like there shouldn't be any reason we lose this game,
exactly.
other than us completely, utterly shitting the bed like we have before. And I'm not saying we can't, but I'm going to say Carlton by 32 points.
Like it.
I think 5 goals, up all day, and comfortable.
Yeah, like it as always. Daffy Boy. I'm glad that you mentioned Ollie Hollands as your point of difference because I'm actually going to share my best on ground. I'm going to go Ollie Hollands.
Oh, yes.
As my best on ground.
I think he was close on the weekend.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like he's building. And like all due respect to North Melbourne, they defensively, the forwards are terrible when they defend.
Yep.
They are not good at all. Like Constanti, everyone says, oh, yeah, he's great inside forward 50 in terms of deep.
They did have good forward inside 50 tackles the other day. That was fucked, by the way.
Yeah, they had like 25 inside 50 tackles.
It was like the most they've ever had in their history or something. But
it was unbelievable.
I understand what you mean. I understand.
Yeah, but like...
It's like out of there. It's like that. It's like when we get it out of D50.
Yes. Yeah, because I think Ollie Hollands plays higher up. Like I feel like if it was like Sard, he probably won't be as good because I think he plays a little bit deeper. But I think Ollie Hollands is more as that defensive winger to an extent. So I think he can play higher. And I seriously think he's building, and I reckon he is set to have not an absolute breakout game because he's had many already, but I just think he is set to really dominate and really have a best on ground performance against the Kangas on the G as well.
Yep.
A ground that he obviously would love playing at. Point of difference, Sam Doherty.
Yeah, I like it.
He's been all right.
Okay.
He was quite poor. Well, not poor. He was
Not
all
poor.
right last
He's
week.
all right on the weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he had a best on ground performance. I think against the Giants.
Yes,
I think that was his first game back.
Goal. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, that I'm looking forward to see him once again in that role that he's playing now. Winner plus margin. Carlton by 21 points.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah,
I don't think it's a game that we should. I mean, I know I'm nervous about it because I always get nervous in Carlton games, but it's a game that we should definitely be winning. And it's not arrogant. When you said it's not arrogant, I know. It's not arrogant.
No, it's not.
It's
not.
We
it's
are
standard.
Yeah, it's standards. It's expectations. We are so far ahead of North Melbourne. And I know that North Melbourne will get there in 2 or 3 years. But right now, fuck me, man.
Yeah.
If we lose this game this week, it will be an absolute disaster. And it is going to be despicable if we lose a game to North Melbourne this week. And I'm sorry, it's not arrogant. It is not arrogant. It is not even confidence. It's fucking expectations. And I'm fucking over us predicting and literally say that we should win this game and then say, it's arrogance. No, it's fucking not.
No, it's not. It's not.
So, Daft Boy, before we wrap up the episode, is there anything else you would like to touch on before we head into North Melbourne, MCG, 120, 19,000 at the G? What do you think?
19,000. I think Carlton fans will show up this week. I just got a feeling.
I reckon 55.
My hope, that's all right. That's all right. But my hope this week for supporters, let's get around them.
Yeah.
First goal, everyone out of their seat. Get up and about. You know what I mean? They need that. We've got to just accept where we're at.
Yeah.
We're not going to be, everyone thinks we're going to be, like, the premiership is, it's either premiership or bust. At the moment, that's not the case.
Yeah.
It's not the case. I hate to say it. It was the toughest pill to swallow the last, 5 weeks for me. But I've accepted that we're not going to win the premiership, probably. Hopefully, we turn it on and win the premiership. But I'm just saying, let's get around them. Let's just accept where we're at and get around them, and have that expectation. Still have the standards, but fuck me. Even that Essendon game, the first 10 minutes, how quiet it was. I was quiet. We were all quiet, but it's like, come on, get it, especially North. If we're 3 goals up, we kick the first 3. The crowd gets involved, and they're all going, fuck. There's the biggest mountain to climb. You got to get over, got to get past these Carlton supporters who have gone off their nuts, and Carlton who are on fire on the ground. So let's get around. It's like Good Friday. We were loud and we're up and about, even though we're playing North. Who cares who we're playing? We should be up and about whoever we play. That's my last point, Patto.
Yeah, I just think, I hate it when we go into our shows when we're literally ahead of the game, and it's something that needs to change. And it's something that I hope will change, but I don't see it changing anytime soon, Daffy Boy. No. But hopefully it does change this week. But to every single blue bagger out there, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Also, make sure to check out our podcast platforms, whether it's Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music as well. Make sure to check out those platforms. And also check out our socials, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok as well. There's a few others out there that you can definitely check us out on. So make sure you do so. But to you, Duffy Boy, and to every single blue bagger out there, the baggers.